Welcome back. Now we are focusing on the all-important two-day visit of Amir of Qatar. Remember, yesterday as he arrived, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had gone to receive him, which is said to be a departure from the usual protocol in cases like that. The visuals that are playing out on your screens right now are of Prime Minister Narendra Modi holding a bilateral meeting with the Amir of Qatar. These leaders are expected to discuss a wide range of issues that relate to India-Qatar ties, especially with reference to trade, investment, energy and technology. This visit also comes at a time when the negotiations are currently underway to end the conflict in Gaza, and Qatar has been at the forefront as a mediator in facilitating those negotiations. My colleague Rishabh joins us for more. Rishabh, first of all, let me go back a little bit and talk about Prime Minister breaking the protocol. Why is it significant?
Well, if we talk about India and Qatar, the relationship is significant and it dates back. If we talk about why did Prime Minister do this, why will Indian Prime Minister go to Palam Technical Airport to receive a visiting dignitary? That is not a protocol, but it was broken last night and Prime Minister decided to do so. Given the personal bonding, the bohemy between the leaders, remember it has always been, never His Excellency, it has always been my brother, the brotherland of Qatar for India and especially Narendra Modi. We have seen this bohemy in Dubai in December 2023 when both the leaders spoke, and just after that we heard that how the 8 Indian ex-Navy officials who were arrested in Qatar for on the charges of espionage were given a special pardon by the Amir of Qatar, and how just after that we saw Indian Prime Minister visit. That visit, sources suggest, happened in 48 hours. And for a diplomatic visit of this level, where the head of government is traveling, happening in a 48-hour time or 24-hour time frame, is something that is very, very unusual but very significant. And that showcases the importance that both the countries accord to each other. That also showcases the importance and priority the leaders accord to each other.
Right.
From that.
And it only assumes more significance given that Indians form the largest portion of expatriates residing in Qatar. We also saw how negotiations had panned out for commuting the death sentences that were handed out to former Navy personnel from India. 9 of them were on a death sentence. They were commuted. Many of them have returned to India, right, Rishabh?
All of them, or the 7 of them have returned to India. One, Priya, is what we're given to understand that given that he was the owner of the company, he has a lot of paperwork to do, and there have been a lot of technicalities in his return. Though he is not in custody, he is very much in Doha, and the conditions are clear that he has to clean up his paperwork before he leaves Qatar, and that's the reason that he is not returning yet, but the officials here in Delhi and Doha have confirmed 2 times now that there is no bound, legal foundation for him to stay in Doha. It is just that he has business, he has family there, and he has to get along a lot of paperwork before he leaves for his own good. That is something that is important, and this is very important. If we talk about the Indian expats who are there, the highest number of expats who are in Qatar doing the blue-collar job comes from India. Legal mobility is something that India and the Gulf countries have been discussing. India recently launched the E-Migrate portal to ensure that the legal, safe mobility happens, especially in the Gulf region. The ambassador of Qatar was also present at that event. And now when the Amir of Qatar is here in India, and the new avenues are being looked into. Trade, commerce, mobility, energy is something that India and Qatar have been dealing with for decades. But now, having said that, new avenues like India-Middle East Economic Corridor, new avenues like peace and conflict in West Asia, new avenues like connectivity with West Asia via Doha. These are the issues that will be discussed.
Yes, and apart from all these trade talks, Rishabh, it also becomes very significant when an endorsement like this comes from a country in Western Asia, the countries that are Islamic countries, or they are Muslim population majority countries. There is also a bigger message that is sent out when it comes to engagement between top leaders from Western Asia in particular.
Well, definitely. See, when it comes to countries like Kuwait, countries like Qatar or UAE, we have seen that how this, whole dynamics work. Remember, there was a time when suddenly the Gulf countries were anti-India because of the statements made by a spokesperson from the ruling party, and there were, apology notes that were written from the government of India as well to these countries. There were different notes that came in from these embassies to India. Now that things have started getting better, we have seen how UAE has become
Yes.
one stop and one flight away from India for the leadership as well. Kuwait, we just saw how in the month of December, India and Kuwait had a strong bilateral visit. Indian Prime Minister
Right.
was in Kuwait City, and now the Qatar Amir is in India. So definitely, India is also trying to clean up that image that has
However,
been made for
even as India tries to improve trade and other ties, some in the opposition only see it as Prime Minister Narendra Modi paying respect to somebody who happens to have a lot of money. What kind of petty politics is that? We'll explore on that in a bit from now. But right now, we are cutting across live to Uttar Pradesh, where there is a showdown going on in the state assembly as UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath slams the opposition, in particular the Samajwadi Party.
धन्यवाद करूंगा विधानसभा सचिवालय को इस बात के लिए धन्यवाद दूंगा। कल हम लोगों ने यहाँ पे इसका शुभारंभ किया, समाजवादी पार्टी ने उसका विरोध किया और मुझे लगता है कि प्रोसेसिंग का हिस्सा होना चाहिए, इनको समाज के सामने एक्सपोज करना चाहिए। अपने बच्चों को ये लोग पढ़ाएंगे इंग्लिश स्कूलों में और दूसरे के बच्चे के लिए अगर वो सुविधा सरकार देना चाहते हो, कह देंगे उर्दू पढ़ाओ इसको, यानी उसको मौलवी बनाना चाहते हैं, कठबुल्ला बन के और देश को ले जाना चाहते हैं। ये नहीं चल सकता।
Yet another face-off over appeasement by the opposition leaders there. Time for us to take a very quick break. All the latest updates on the other side.